Friends, I'm going to make a little video here, and I'm only covering one subject. And may I say this before I get into this subject. Now, this subject is called overlapping generation. That's overlapping generation. Now, we all know what that is. It's the excuse that the Watchtower is now using to cover up their 1914 lie that has been handed down all these years. The overlapping generation. And may I say this to all opposers of us, which would be JWs, if you can explain to me what an overlapping generation is. Now let me repeat that to JWs. If you can explain to me what an overlapping generation is, I will get off this darn YouTube site and never show my face again. And I'm a man of my word. I will get off here and never say anything about the Watchtower. In fact, I will go back to the Kingdom Hall and beg them to let me back in. I was wrong. I was wrong. Oh, please let me get back in. I'll sit back in that back room for 3 years for you. It doesn't matter, long as I'm with you people. That's what I'll do. I promise you I will do that if you will explain to me the overlapping generation. Now, since 1914, from what I have read, there's only about 50 people living that's in America that is here now. About 50 people. Now, I'm going to read, friends. You have to excuse me because I can't remember all this nonsense, but I'm going to read it, and it's quick. But this is from a governing body member who explained the overlapping generation. Once they were caught in their little lie, as usually, this is his explanation. So they could buy out more time. They had to buy out more time. Time has caught up with us. Okay? But now this is what I'm going to read, and I want someone to explain to me what it means. And I'll keep my promise of getting the hell out of here and never coming back. And here it goes. Now, this is what the governing body member said. Anyone chosen as anointed during the time before and during 1914 is the first generation. That's group 1, part 1. Then he goes on to say, anyone who was chosen as anointed while group 1 was still alive is of group 1. That is group 1, part 2. If you were chosen after group 1, part 1, and all died out, you are a whole other group 1, part 2. That is group 2. The generation that will not pass away ends when group 1 of part 2 dies out, which is soon. That is the meaning of overlapping generation. And I invite all my freedom fighters out there. I'm not calling you apostates. I'm calling y'all freedom fighters. You're not no apostates. Apostate is a person against God. You ain't against God. You're for God by standing up to this nonsense that they got people so psyched out about. Explain to me what overlapping generation is and what does it mean. Any JW out there, reply to this video, and if you can explain it to me, whereas I would understand it, I'll get out of here. And I'll make videos and defend the watchtower from there on, if you will tell me what overlapping generation is. And for me to make a deal like that, you know I'm reaching far out when I do that. But I'll get off of here if you will explain to me what an overlapping generation is. Absolutely. And any of my freedom fighters out there, if you think you know what it means, send me a comment or reply. See? Send me a comment or reply. But it's got to be an answer that I can understand, because I don't believe there's no one out there that can explain what I just said, what an overlapping generation is. I didn't say it. I'm only repeating what governing body members said. Overlapping generation. Friends, I said this is going to stick to one subject, and I'm going to try to hold it to that so as it'll sink into your mind. Y'all out there, I'll just put it this way. I know a sister that passed away that lives right down the street from me in 1996. I distinctly remember that. I was starting to fade then. But I was down there talking to her and her husband. And she said to me, John, they've changed it again and I'm mad. I said, change what? She says, look at this. And she showed it to me. It was, I forget what it said, but it was something they said about a generation that does not conform to Jesus' direction, that does not conform to Jesus' way. That's all it said. So now to me, that means that everybody that is a Jehovah's Witness had to accept that. That's it. Or they were waiting for 1914 on up to now. And the sister said to me, they changed it again. And she was furious. I saw it in her. I didn't tell her I was fading, but I was. I was fading. But that only gave me more munition to fade. Because this woman had been in it a long time. See, and her husband, he was also deep into it. But I don't know how he took it. But I do know how she took it. So, friends, I'm going to close it now, and I'll be back. As I told you, I'm going to make a few more videos until my wife gets home. I got a new life that is in store for me. I can't worry about the watchtower, but they don't worry about me. I have to worry about me and my wife now. And my freedom fighters out there. Right on, boys and girls. Fight for your freedom. There's nothing as good as freedom. And don't let them call you an apostate. You are freedom fighters. Freedom fighters. And to all y'all out there, write to Kim and Mikey. And write to Cora and her husband. And Son of Thunder. Write to all these your people that are commenting about the watchtower, anti. Tell them or ask them to use the name freedom fighters. Fighters of truth. Fighters of what is right about God and what's wrong with men. Following men. That's all the watchtower is, men. 8 old bent over men that act like roosters out in the yard picking on the poor chickens, which is the flock. The chickens scatter when they come around. They're scared to death. That old rooster walking around ready to peck on their necks and do something with them, but that's the way they act. And that's what I call them, roosters. And bent over, old men, bent over. And you know, I thank God I'm not bent over yet. And I know it's going to come, but it might not never come. But they are bent over. And I don't care if they are not bent over. I'm going to call them bent over. Because they are masters of deceit. They are masters of a lie. Masters of what's wrong. You know, I don't think anyone would say I'm wrong for calling them bent over 8 old roosters. Because that's what they act like. And they got these here little elders walking around in the Kingdom Hall with a briefcase thinking they are so great. Oh, look at me. I'm a good rooster. I got privileges. I can carry the microphone. Yeah, and I can hold judicial committees on these people sitting here in this Kingdom Hall. Me, look at me. I wash windows, but I'm an elder. Yes, I am. This is the way they feel, friends. So I'm going to close it for now. And to all you freedom fighters, keep fighting. You don't get freedom unless you fight for it. Look at George Washington. He froze almost to death, but he kept fighting for that freedom. And if we keep fighting for freedom, that damn tower will come down. That evil tower. It's not a watchtower. It's an evil tower. Evil. Capital E, capital V, capital I, capital L. It's evil. A book publishing company disguised as a religion. Passing as a non-profit organization. What a joke. What a joke. Al Capone was a saint compared to the Watchtower Corporation. Can you imagine a channel of God being a corporation? A channel of God being a corporation. What a joke. And people believe that crap. 8 million zombies believe that. So friends, all you freedom fighters out there, good night. Thank you, friends.